That's definitely what I was thinking.
Yo, that was like,
girl.
I hope she burns in hell.
I had so many people were sending me TikToks about that, and I was like, yeah, I know, I follow the news too, but thank you for sharing.
It's like in Wizard of Oz, and the ding dong, the witch is dead. Which that old bitch.
What was the thing that I finally watched? Oh, I fell asleep watching the Whitney Houston movie. They used her voice, I guess, for the songs.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it wasn't good. Didn't you see it, Jason?
Oh yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah. See, like the only biopic that I actually have ever liked, because it was like, because you were there with me, Lisa. It was Rocket Man, because they're like,
yes,
this is, this is all his flaws, everything. Just put it all out there,
Yeah.
And it's like, all these biopics trying to make them look good, especially like, what was Bohemian Rhapsody, where they barely even mentioned that, what's his face? Freddie Mercury was gay. Like they barely even mentioned it. Like,
and he did that girl dirty.
Yeah,
his wife. Like like there are just so many things that yeah.
Of course, when my biopic comes out, it's going to be just nothing but lies.
No one cares.
It's like Weird Al Yankovic. His it's nothing but lies.
It's just going to be like, oh yeah, he was born in a log cabin. Immaculate conception. Has no parents. He just spawned into existence. Or like
I mean, we can make that film for you right now if you want. It's fine. We're gonna, we can support you.
North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. They say that he doesn't poop or pee. He doesn't have to because he's a perfect. Yes, they do. They tell their citizens he does.
Okay, people don't believe that, right? Surely.
I've never met a North Korean, so I can't say 100% that they do believe it.
I also never have, but
so I don't know. But from what I've seen on television, take that with a grain of salt. It seems like they are reticent to believe the information, or at least they're not able to say they don't believe it. So
I mean, we have gone through a time in history when we thought gods lived on a mountain, and I mean,
you're right.
I'm not putting any belief past anybody,
and not even a very high mountain. A high mountain that like they can see the top of. Like they don't look like those people up there.
Yeah.
Like, you can just walk up.
You have a point there. It's like Stone Mountain, like right there.
I don't see nobody up there. Like we could go up there if we want.
Right. No one's stopping us. So I'm never going to be amazed by what people can believe or not believe. So,
speaking of things that people believe, you know how they have the new Star Wars kids show for toddlers, the Star Wars Young Jedi?
Yes, I'm excited to watch it.
I hear it's actually pretty good. I'm constantly online, so there's a TikTok video where this guy's like, "Oh no, this takes place in the High Republic. Those kids have been long dead because the joke is, they're gonna get Order 66." And people are like, "Oh my God, thank God. I was not going to watch this until you told me that." I'm like, we're adults, right? Like, we understand that Disney's not going to make a show for babies where the characters are all genocided at the end, right? Like, we can just assume that's not going to happen.
If they did, I would give a lot of kudos points to like the last episode of the season is like some kids going to be like, "What's Order 66?" and it cuts to black. Like that would be
Master Anakin. Like this is not like the 80s when they had David the Gnome where he and his wife die at the end. Like why are we doing this, guys? Like
right, that's very true. That is
like that's comment after comment. It's like, "Oh, I wasn't gonna watch this with my kids because I thought they were all gonna die at the end." Like, are y'all serious? Like seriously.
Once again, believe that people on mountains threw thunderbolts. Come on.
That's what a thunder comes from up there. You see, right. You can look at it, right? We can look, I see it. There's nobody up there. You don't know. You never been up
there. Right. You never climbed it. You don't know. I mean, any news that we have for today? Did I have? Oh, I guess I did. I had. I had news. Yeah, I had.
You're the guy that does the news.
Oh, am I the news guy? Oh, I gotta get me like a mailman thing now, since I'm the guy that does the news now.
Time to get the mail. I'm sorry, I was thinking of the Blues Clues. It's mail.
It's mail. Which, Blue's Clues came out when I was at least a teenager. I should not.
We were too old to be watching it. Yes.
I've never watched Blue's Clues, so you're fine.
You
were too old to be watching it.
Oh my god!
Come on.
And I watched it every day.
Dude, when Steve recently went on the internet and just like, hey, I'm still here. I was thinking about you. Tears. I was crying. And I'm like, you are not my demographic. I was way too old to be watching that show.
And have you seen people like simping over is it the purple wiggle or the purple? I think it's the purple wiggle. People are like,
well, they got a new purple wiggle.
Him. Yes. And it's like, I'm not sure how I got on Wiggle TikTok.
Let's also be clear that Lisa and I's kids are grown almost.
Yeah, there's no. The only thing I can think of is because I'm on Book Talk, and Book Talk is like a bunch of very thirsty females, and so maybe it's like the same algorithm, but I don't get it. I don't know how I'm on Wiggle TikTok, but yeah, they're just like, oh my god, look at, I don't even fucking know his name, but doing this dance. I'm like, y'all, he ain't that great. I don't know. Maybe they just be bored.
Well, if you are a stay-at-home mother whose only mostly day-to-day interactions is with maybe a small infant-like person, maybe your husband is a lineman and is gone for months at a time. When you watch it,
they're lonely. I'm not hating on them. It's just
like,
interesting to me. I'm gonna be honest.
Good.
The only reason why I know anything about the sport of hockey is because of all the hockey romances I read. I can tell you what a hat trick is, no problem.
All right, on to the news. Richard Dreyfuss.
Oh yeah, fuck that dude.
The new diversity rules for the Oscars makes him want to vomit. So for those who don't know, the Oscars have started putting new rules for their best film. And each film has to get 2 out of the 4 requirements to qualify for one of the best films. So some of the requirements are one is
hire a black person.
A lead or significant supporting actors be from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group. Let's see what else we have here. It says that 30% of all actors in a secondary or minor role should be from an unrepresented group, and that the storyline, theme, or narrative of the film is centered on underrepresented groups. And so, yeah, homeboy was like, no one should be telling me as an artist that I have to give into the latest, most current idea of what morality is. Now, I want to pause here and say, at one point, I'm like, okay, you're still white, man. I'm going to let you have it because you old. But this is where he starts to lose me on. I
was agreeing with you, old white man, until you said this.
Right. He goes, Laurence Olivier was one of the last white actors to play Othello, and he did it in 1965, and he did it in blackface, and he played a black man brilliantly. What are you talking about, old white man? And then he continues to go, am I being told that I will never have a chance to play a black man? Is someone else being told that if they're not Jewish, they shouldn't play the Jewish Merchant of Venice? Are we crazy? Do we not know what art is? So I'm going to let you all go first, and then I'll finish up. But yes, that's where he lost me at when he went that role, because,
Richard Dreyfuss from Close Contact and the Third Kind. Mr.
Holland's Opus.
Jaws.
Huge, respectable body of work. A very respectable actor. I'm going to look at it right here. Mr. Dreyfuss, who have done so much great work throughout the years in Hollywood. You can suck my whole dick. From the tip, you got to relax your jaw. It's not that big, but you're still going to have to relax your jaw.
Relax the jaw.
Our E rating, everyone, right here. E for everyone rating.
I don't mean to be volatile, but people like him should just die. I'm sorry. Just go ahead and die.
Jesus. Oh, God.
I mean, you can't tolerate the intolerable. I'm sorry.
Any words or any thoughts on Mr. Dreyfuss? Or?
Well, yeah, I think, first of all, this should have been a thing forever ago. Like, I can't believe that it's taken this long for it even to be.
To think about it.
And yeah, so it should have happened decades ago so that now it's just done and doesn't have to be enforced because it's just automatically done. So shame on the Academy for friggin' waiting this long to even do it. And, I can't believe Richard Dreyfuss is PR people let him say that. Like,
His niece was probably out there like that.
Maybe he's running for president, and so he needs the votes.
Good point.
He's trying to get elected.
Phenomenal point.
I don't know. I think that there's something people like. There's something different about like when you're talking about European people, especially. So I actually had this conversation over the
mayonnaise
weekend.
flavored people.
Like, yeah, because like Italians used to be, they were not considered white, right? Like that is a new thing. And we're kind of whitewashed. Like we're not like as dark as we used to be because we live all over the United States. But like you go to Italy, we look completely different, right? And so I think that there's something different about like an Italian playing a Greek person versus like, I don't know. I'm trying to think
a white person playing an African.
Well, yes, but I was just trying to think of something like a Jewish person, like.
Well, also with that, it's like, Italians and Greeks, you could say their cultures are very different. They do have some crossover and what have you.
Right.
But how many Italian actors are there? How many Greek actors are there versus like you're telling a story about a Jewish person and you don't even bother to even find any Jewish people.
Yes, 100%. If it's a story about a Jewish person, that is their character, that is their driven purpose. It needs to be a Jewish person. So, like, shut the fuck up, Richard Dreyfuss. Like, what are we even talking about? Like, it's not. This is not like this. He's insane. I don't know. He's insane. I can't believe that anyone let him say that out loud.
I will push back a little bit because there was some. The Whale starring Brendan Fraser. Well, he put on a fat suit.
Yeah.
And some people were upset about that because, like, why don't you just hire a morbidly obese actor?
No, it's not the same.
And I'm just
it's not the same. I hate it when people do that.
It's not really the same thing.
I hate it when people
get it,
compare like fatness and skinniness to it's not the same. It's not the same thing. It's two completely different things.
Or they could just do the Christian Bale route and just put on 600 pounds. That's what Christian Bale
right. I mean, yeah, like it's just like we don't hire known drug addicts to play drug addicts in movies.
Right.
Like,
that's stupid. Yeah. And there's a difference between I think, like you said, a drug addict or whatever, and then a fat person and it's then like a Jewish person and a black person. Like they're not the same. It's completely ridiculous.
Being overweight is not a culture. It's just it's just a thing that happens to people, and anybody can be overweight if it happens to them. It's fine. Like,
I remember
they're not a protected class.
I remember watching a documentary on MTV. Used to have this amazing documentary called True Life, and oh god, it was so good. And so they had a True Life I'm Fat. And it was about 3 people who they were like obsessively skinny, like eating disorder skinny and like exercise and everything. So now they've gone the complete opposite way and they were trying to gain as much weight as possible. And so like they were doing anything they can. And the point was they could change their body. I mean, some people, it is hormones and everything, but not always. And so, they were just like, oh yeah, I've decided I didn't want to have an eating disorder throwing up every day. Now I just wanted to binge eat and get excited when I bust out my pants. That show was wild.
Okay, let me get back to it. I'm gonna finish that. No, you're fine.
Sorry.
It's just shenanigans all the time.
Shenanigans. If you shan once, you're gonna shan again.
Let me just go. I'm tired of all these old white men. I'm just going to keep it a big. Like,
For real though.
Yes.
I'm just tired of all of them. And so let's start with one. I hate the fact that because people are so afraid of losing their own interests that they attack the wrong thing. So he attacks the Academy for bringing up these rules to help promote diversity. Now, I think these rules are kind of misguided. I will agree with that.
The last one sucks.
One of those things, yeah, but it's kind of one of those things that if the powers that be that were doing the right thing, we wouldn't need these rules. So why is he not attacking those people? Why are we seeing movies where people are in New York City and there's no black or Latino person in sight?
Or when they go to New Orleans, they don't have a fucking New Orleans accent.
Stop with the accent, Jason.
He doesn't need to be a thing. But my point is that they attack the person who's trying to make the change, even if it's misguided or not, instead of attacking the people who don't hire people of minority, that don't interview them, that don't do anything with it. And so it's like, again, we always go after the people who are trying to do the right thing rather than the people who are fucking the whole thing up. And because he's part of that system of it being fucked up, yeah, he's going to attack the people trying to do the right thing. And then the last thing about it, his dumbass comment about playing a black guy and all this shit like that. First of all, it's enough black people out here that are acting. It should never be a situation where any white man has to play a black guy and get in blackface to play the black guy.
The last good example of that was Ben Stiller in Tropic Thunder, and that was 15 years ago.
With Robert Downey Jr. And but
Robert
the point
Downey
of the joke
I'm sorry.
was the point of the joke was to mock blackface and mock like what was it, the actors that get into method actors. Like that was the point of the joke. So you had to do it to get the joke. I'm fine with that because that's part of the comedy and the license we give to comedy. I don't need Robert Downey Jr. dressing as a black guy to play Othello, which is a serious work of art. Like, I don't need that. Just like I don't need a black guy getting white to play like Schindler's List or something. Like it
doesn't make sense.
Need it. Yeah. But then also too, the last point I made point to somebody is that there is no event in human history that only affected one race or one ethnicity. Everything in history had multiple races of people in it because at a certain point of our human existence, we didn't even consider race as a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
it was you were Greek, you could be black looking Greek, you could be African Greek, you could be from like it wasn't a thing. So even in things like the Holocaust, black people got slaughtered in the Holocaust. You can put black people in a Holocaust movie.
Black people live in Europe and they have lived in Europe for thousands of years.
It's a great movie. Black people were part of those armies. If you want to do a Rome movie, black people lived in Rome. Asian people lived in Rome. Like everywhere you go in human existence, other races were there. Yeah. So when they go, well, that person is in that race. Why is he in this movie? No, you idiot. They probably were in that existence. Now, if you go to playing the characters, like we know Mark Anthony is being considered what we consider white, or Alexander the Great is what we consider white, that's a different issue. But the point that's just saying you need to include people of other representation and color. You can have a role that you create, because they do it all the time for historical movies, that you create some dude that has to be a person. Like, it's ways you could do it that isn't pandering, but also allowing people the representation. So you know what? Actually have a chance to get more roles and better roles. Most of these great actors we talk about, we could go online and see that they started off in small little bit background roles in other movies, and people liked them, like directors and cast, and they brought them over to other movies. Well, people of color don't get those roles, so they don't get the chance to mingle and get with directors and get brought over.
They're normal.
That's exactly.
Why they don't get those roles,
yeah.
We just want a normal person in the background.
Yeah.
Just like I always talk about all the time, my biggest example is The Woman King. Regardless of what you think of the movie, let's talk about the budget of it. The budget was minuscule for an action summer movie. And the only reason it was minuscule is because it competed people of color. Because if you would have made that movie and it would have been a whole bunch of white people, and it would have made, if they would have gave it all the money you could have thrown at it. Like, look at Ocean's 8, which did have people of color in it, but it was led by white women. Who was checking for Ocean's 8? Nobody was sitting around like, man, I wish we had an all-woman cast. Like, nobody was doing it, and I'm glad it was made. But the point is that the budget was given to fully make that movie. You don't give minorities that kind of budget. Ryan Coogler had hit after hit after hit on limited budgets, and then you give them a big budget, and then Wakanda Forever, which I wasn't a huge fan of. But the point is, then you're going to use that as a reason because it wasn't the $20 billion hit that Black Panther was as a slight against them. Like, are you
Ryan Coogler can't even go to the bank and withdraw his own money without the cops coming to get him? So let's
right. Like, you know what I mean? White directors have bombs and they just give them another movie. Hell,
Steven Spielberg hasn't made a good movie in 40 years.
I wouldn't even go that. What's the little other dude, the dude that made all the comic book movies, Boyle or whatever his name was?
Boyle.
Yeah. He kept getting jobs, and he made the worst movies in existence.
He still gets jobs.
Look, man, I just Richard Dreyfuss, man. I'm like Jason. You can eat a dick, man, because that is crankety old white man shit.
You got to knock.
That's like crying about affirmative action when you've benefited from the patriarchy and you're crying about affirmative action because one other black kid got a spot in school. Like, shut the fuck up, man. Like,
and the real insidious part about this, especially about that sort of mindset, is it's not just that, you know, a black person took that job, but they think that there's not a black candidate that's worthy of that spot.
Exactly.
Or a person of color or a woman who is worthy of that spot. It's you are so ingrained that the most worthy of all people are cis-het white dudes that you can't possibly imagine if we threw up a pool of candidates and said we're just going to choose from this small section of candidates because ain't none of them here, that any one of these candidates could be just as good. And that's really insidious. And that's what Richard Dreyfuss is saying is like, oh, you're limiting my stories. Like, who gives a fuck? Everybody's been limiting stories. You work in a studio system, right? Like, they limit stories all the fucking time. They give you all sorts of fucking mandates and shit about the stories that you're going to do. So who gives a crap?
Yeah.
You just don't believe that stories about people of color or marginalized groups are going to be good because you're a racist old white man.
Yes. And don't want to realize it and say, yeah.
I'm not racist. I got it. My best friend is black. He comes to my house sometimes.
My best friend was in blackface in the 60s. And he did it well.
If I have to sacrifice people like Jane Elliott and Bernie Sanders to wipe out all of them, I'm fine with it. I'm sorry. I'll take the L, and I love them to death, especially Jane Elliott. I love her to death. She's probably my spirit animal. But even she would probably say, if I could end all racism and just eliminate myself, she would take the deal. And I'm fine with it. Like, get all the old white men out of here. Like, Jesus Christ. Sorry for anybody whose parents is an old white man. It just is what it is.
That's what they should have done at Knock on the Cabin Door. You know, Batista should have been like, yo, if we kill one of you guys, if one of y'all die, all the racists die too. Come on,
they might have done it right then. They might have done it right then.
I'd have stabbed myself in the heart in the theater for the cause. Fuck it.
Don't forget about the world. All the racists gonna die.
Right. Leave people in those planes are racist in a crash. Well, I guess it'd be reverse. All of them are like social justice warriors in one plane.
Yeah. They could have changed the world.
Right.
You're being selfish.
Oh man, that would have been a better premise, M. Night. Probably got dispelled from Hollywood for it, but still, hey.
Yeah.
All right. Any other news that we have? Anybody else? Besides you guys not believing in the Black Powerpuff Girl, how dare you guys? Shame.
I believe in her. I was saying, but you know,
I don't believe it.
It's fine. My argument was Buttercup.
Oh yeah.
She's not mean.
Lisa, I apologize. Buttercup's my favorite one too. She's not mean, but she is aggressive.
If she was a man, you wouldn't say that. You would think she's badass. Bullshit. Hold on. I don't believe you. You can say what you want to say.
She's the toughest fighter.
Yeah. So
they say it in the theme song.
Yeah, they say in the theme song. She is the one that is willing to fight. That is aggressive.
Badass.
I'm not saying it's not badass. I'm not saying it's not badass.
And that doesn't make her mean.
I said I apologize about the mean thing.
I don't know if I forgive you. I don't know if I accept your apology. The point is that if the Powerpuff Girls or the Powerpuff Boys,
Rowdy Rough Boys,
it would be complete. Yeah,
they have boys.
But we did call the green one mean in that one. He was the meanest one out of all of them. The Rowdy Rough Boys.
Saying, Lisa,
he was the biggest jerk out of all of them. To say that.
By making her a person of color, it changes the complexity of her character.
For people that don't know, at one point there was going to be a live-action Powerpuff Girls show, and the green Powerpuff Girl, because most people would know her as that, was going to be a black woman, and so that's what Jason is referring to into a degree that the narrative changes.
Because the stereotype
because men have decided that if a woman is aggressive and a leader and a fighter, then she's mean, and they put all these things. So if the men wouldn't have put all those things on Buttercup, then it wouldn't matter.
And they wouldn't have put all those things on black women
then she
either.
could just be a lead black character. So I just feel like it all leads back to men being the issue.
The patriarchy sucks. We agree.
And I think that they should all be black because I love black women. They're my favorite people on the planet. So
I'm a big fan of
we agree with that. Yes, I don't agree with Jason of her being mean. I do think she is aggressive by her own admittance. Like when they all have these moments of like what they would do, her result is always punch him in the face.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
which
Get
I'm not
shit
saying
done.
is
Let's
any
get
less of a
shit done.
strategy. Again,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's any less of a strategy, but
Yeah.
if you were talking about diplomacy, that would be an aggressive strategy, is let's bomb them before we even hear them out. Like,
Yeah.
if we were doing it like apples to apples comparison, like if we were saying, hey, one is saying, let's talk to them intellectually. One is saying, let's show them love and compassion. The other one's saying, like, nah, let's drop the heater on them because they shouldn't have done what they done to begin with. So
Yeah,
I think that's where we feel like
Thanks,
she's
Mom.
aggressive, is because her attitude towards handling conflict is straight to violence, or at least.
And I'm only saying aggressive as compared to the
physicalness.
other Powerpuff Girls. I'm not saying she's aggressive as compared to Jason when he's racing. I don't know.
all I'm saying is if we were doing dodgeball and I got first pick, I'm picking Buttercup on a bottle.
Hell yeah, every single time.
That's what I want to say. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
But nobody in dodgeball is like, whoa. Let's think about this before you throw
Well,
this at my head.
Blossom would be. Or
Yeah,
Bubbles,
Blossom would cry.
Bubbles would be in the
Bubbles
corner.
would
to-
cry. It's like, why
Bubbles
can't
would
we just sit here and play horses and ponies
right.
and just be soft girls and that's fine too if you want to be like that. That's also okay
Yeah.
as well. You know, I'm just.
But yeah, I mean, I think, but I do think they do position Buttercup to almost like be the tomboy perspective of the group.
Yeah.
And
I
then
hate
I
that.
think because of that, instead of making it, you could be a tomboy and still
And
have
other
the
things.
other traits,
Yeah.
they decided to go full on she's about that life.
That's also be 100. Like, this is made by Craig McCracken, who's also just a nerdy dude who's like, I met a girl who was mean to me once. This is what I draw her as. Like,
Definitely.
like,
Yeah.
Good
that's
for
also
him.
a thing. He got a
Good
show
for
though,
him.
so I didn't even graduate art school. He went and got a TV show afterwards.
Are we going to have our Twilight conversation briefly, or you guys want to save that for
Oh,
another
that
day?
was I don't know.
We can
that
save
was
it.
a joke.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I wasn't joking, but we can say
Explain to me, Lisa, why you think Bella should have ended up with a Confederate,
no,
other than the
my
fact that she's
mom's
just a
watching
terrible
right
person.
now. My mom's watching, so we'll discuss it at a different
Okay,
time.
well, we'll start at 28 minutes, Jason. We'll start the show at 28 minutes while we debate that.
Water.
Other
louder,
fascinating
Hard
things.
stir.
louder, drop.
Evidently, Danny Phantom's coming back in comic book form.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
Nobody wants to. So it was some guy that did it's a fan source thing where it's like a Danny Phantom and Ben 10 comic book when they're a little bit older, which is really, really dope. And I wish they would have made that idea, because I think that would have been a lot funner to have.
Cartoon Network's only about selling toys to kids. They don't give a fuck about
That's
stories.
true.
Selling toys
That's
to
true.
little boys.
Yeah, it's the little boys.
Not
Even
kids.
more
Not
so
kids.
true. Yes.
Little boys. You're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get out of here.
I didn't think about it. You're right. Can't think. I mean, except for the Powerpuff Girls, that's probably only. Yeah. Huh. Man, Cartoon Network.
Hey, everybody. Fuck Cartoon Network, even though I love Cartoon Network. Welcome to the Head Canon Circus podcast. I'm your host, or one of your hosts, Jason Ade Baker. That's my full government name. Look me up.
Don't steal his identity.
Don't steal it. You ain't gonna do. In fact, someone opened up a credit card in my name, and they actually helped my credit out. Thank you, person. Close that card down real quick. They were paying the bill on it. I'm like, wow, you're really responsible.
We got a $200 limit.
That really happened. That really
I'll
happened.
pay it.
That really happened. It was the
Oh
only
my
thing that was on my
God.
record that was positive.
That's amazing.
We have a phenomenal show for you this evening. Thank you for joining us once again. But of course, we got to do the thing. If it's your first time joining us, or if you've joined us for many, many times, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, interact, get in the comments, because it's the thing that feeds the algorithm, and the algorithm feeds my kid. And my kid eats a lot. He ordered 2 sandwiches from Publix the other day. 2
Wow.
whole sandwiches.
Wow.
Ate them both.
Practically rich at this point. You go see movies for regular prices, and
Look,
you eat
I'm not eating it. Publix subs
subs.
is a treat. All right?
2 of them.
I didn't think of any clever analogies for you guys today because I was busy. But here are my lovely co-hosts. He is the chocolate to my thunder, Jason. How you doing?
Okay.
Oh yeah, so that means I'm
freaky.
chocolate thunder. Am I chocolate thunder? Hey, chocolate to my thunder. Yeah, man, I'm glad to be here, man. We have a lot of fun things to talk about. So let's start the fucking show.
Yeah, and if you put
Reference
Lisa in
later.
between the two of us, we would make an Oreo cookie. But if you
I'm double
if you do like,
subbed.
so,
That's it.
but Lisa, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. I'm, nervous about this show because I may as well be Jared at this point because I didn't watch anything.
Yeah.
So.
Jared came so unprepared. Fuck you, Jared. Hi, Jared. I know you're watching. We have a phenomenal show for today. We will be going over Peter Pan and Wendy. That's a new movie on Disney Plus. We will also be going over the Star Wars Vision Season 2, which just came out on Disney Plus as well. They don't sponsor us. I wish they did because we have that Disney money and we could go and fight, fist fight. What's the DeSantis?
Yeah. We'll make him say gay.
Yeah.
No.
Hold it down.
Wild.
Say it.
Oh my god. You see
speaking
now
of
in
another-
Florida, it's illegal to drive if you don't have a Florida driver's license.
Yeah.
They're so stupid.
It's more for illegal immigrants, but yeah, it's dumb.
They're dumb.
But also another Disney property. We're also going to be discussing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So it's like a Disney feed of all their Disney properties today.
You know what, Jason? This show is sponsored by Disney. Please give
Don't
us
say
a
that. They might see it. You ever have Mickey Mouse show at your doors like, where's the money?
Yeah.
Like, you use my name. Come on.
Give me the ring. Give me the ring.
He's like, oh, I'm going to break your legs.
Whoa.
Look, it's funny that stuff is happening in Florida, like Disney versus Florida, because like it's like watching like Godzilla versus Rodan, and everybody else is getting destroyed. Like, who do you pick out of these two giant, fascist entities to win?
Yeah, neither one's the hero. It's like two villains fighting it out. Like, yeah,
it's like the Joker fighting Lex Luthor. Like, who cares? Other than the fact that I hope Disney win because they give me like fun content and stuff, and Florida sucks. I hate Florida.
Yeah. Boo.
Love you, Mom.
Saw it off. Let it flow into the ocean.
Yeah, just let it go.
Same with Texas. Bye.
Texas wouldn't float in the ocean. You just go to Mexico.
Just get rid of it. It's a cancer.
I'm a big fan of getting rid of Ohio, but they don't really do nothing.
Okay.
Poor Ohio.
Let's go ahead. Ohio gets a stray. You got Ohio just called a straight stray. Like, has nothing to do with nothing. You're like, just get rid of it. All right.
Listen, they can leave. It's because of LeBron. That's why. He's from Ohio.
Okay, got it.
And he
LeBron's
can't just
fault.
stick on their team. It's all LeBron's fault. Here we go.
Okay.
Go ahead. No, Lisa.
No, I was going to talk basketball, but then I know your audience, so I'm good. Go ahead.
Is James watching this? He knows basketball.
Yes, I know. I was talking about you guys. It's fine.
Oh,
continue. It's already passed.
Look, basketball is in our genes, madam.
Who's playing right now?
The Canadian sport. Basketball is in our genes. Yeah.
That was invented in Africa by Africans.
That's what I was taught in school.
Yeah, I'm sure you were.
I was. A little basket. A little circle. Yeah.
I'm sure now me and Jason can go out there. You throw us a ball. We're setting up screens. We're doing layups and stuff. It's going to be great. It's like watching the Globetrotters. We can also play bass.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
This is
Right.
it's a crazy show, y'all. We're off the rails today.
It's been a long day. Wendy Darling, a young girl looking to avoid boarding school, meets Peter Pan, a boy who refuses to grow up. Wendy, her brothers, and Tinkerbell travel with Peter to the magical world of Neverland, where she encounters an evil pirate captain named Craig. That's not on there.
Like, did I watch the wrong movie?
Who's Craig? Why is Craig here? You can't be mad at a villain named Craig. He's like, oh, look at Craig. That is the what Google says about the synopsis of Peter Pan and Wendy, which is now currently airing on Disney Plus. Now, if you don't know, now you know. For everything we do, we give it a one-sentence review. So, Jason, go ahead and give us your one sentence review on Peter Pan and Wendy.
My one sentence review is: if you sniff dust and start flying, you're probably on cocaine.
Lisa, do you want to do a one sentence review?
Yeah, I
Sure,
have
ahead.
one for this. Yeah. My one sentence review for this movie is: who asked for this movie?
No one did.
Not me.
It's not for you, Lisa.
Obviously, it's not. It ain't for me.
For me, is Rufio. It's not in this, but that's okay.
It's never okay.
Yeah, he should. Look, let's get into our pros and cons. But I'm going to go ahead and throw my one con out. Well, I have more than one con, but my biggest con out there, that this is not Hook. That's every Peter Pan thing from 1995 on should be just a sequel or continuation of Hook, and I don't understand why they're not doing that.
Well, I guess that's our review. All right, let's go to the next movie then.
Next one. That literally could have been in the con section, Jason. Why you didn't wait?
No, that's my biggest con. No,
you couldn't wait. Let me get that out.
I actually have pros for this movie. I actually kind of like this movie.
Okay, well, continue then. You gave it us the con.
Go with
Yeah,
your
here's my pros. I liked the relationship between Captain Hook and Peter Pan. It added an extra emotional layer to the story. The pair of songs, there were only two, which was great, were diegetic, and they're actually kind of pretty good. The Walking the Plank song in the end, I kind of enjoyed it. Lisa's going to probably rebut this. Tiger Lily is not
rebuttal. Whatever you're going to say.
Rebuttal. First rebuttal on the show.
Go ahead. Finish. Go
She's
ahead.
not just a racial stereotype, and she is actually giving something to do.
No.
All right, Lisa, your rebuttal, please. Continue.
No, the second, first of all, it's 2023. The fact that they even still have fucking Tiger Lily in the movie, like,
Lisa, do Native Americans not exist?
It doesn't matter because it's literally a fucking stereotype. And as soon as I saw Tiger Lily, I was like, turn this shit off. I can't watch this anymore. Like, why? And Peter Pan, okay, that's for later. Fuck you, Peter Pan and Wendy. You should have never had Tiger Lily. I don't know what you're doing. Ew.
They gave a job to a nice young Native American actress.
Stop.
All right, we'll continue, Jason. Tiger Lily's in it, and
Tyler Perry does that too.
She got us there. She got you there.
She got the Lobo. She's going, I'm coming for you. Ever Gabo Anderson, which is the daughter of Mila Jovovich and Paul Thomas Anderson? One of those Anderson guys.
Yeah.
She's actually pretty good as Wendy. I really liked her. And I liked the fact that Peter apologized to James at the end, which is a spoiler, but I like that. That's it.
All right.
Jason, do you have any pros? Or
okay, yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I'll go and knock out my pros.
Lisa's pros. The movie ended.
All right. My pros. Peter Pan the person who played Peter Pan did feel very childlike, and almost the deviousness of his childlike behavior was fitting for Peter Pan, because I think a lot of them skipped the fact that anybody acting like a child continuously probably is a bad human being.
Yeah.
Wendy felt more important in this story than I think in the previous incarnations. Thus why she probably got, top billing with the name Peter Pan.
Not really top billing. She got added on.
Yeah. Well, she got the and. Her name is in it. The pros are like, I feel like they finally gave Hook more of a complicated story here. Mm-hmm. And that's actually kind of refreshing, because I wasn't in love with, I think it was Jude Law's Hook, just appearance-wise. But as the movie fleshed out emotionally, I'm like, okay, I see why they put him in this role, and it worked. But initially, I guess I always want like more of an intimidating, just quirkier Hook. And I mean, I think it's with you. I think because the movie Hook has put that in my mind to be the quintessential Hook. And then my pros is having a black Tinkerbell. I mean, F the haters. Sorry, Richard Dreyfuss. You can eat a dick in this one too.
Addendum to your, there are people who are upset not just about the black Tinkerbell, but the fact that Jude Law as Hook was not sexy.
Well,
it's like, what is this ugly Hook? And I'm like, who is thirsting after the guy who's
Don't worry about it. Okay,
the
like,
guy whose primary
judge-free
motivation is to
zone.
kill children.
Yeah.
Just don't worry about it.
All right, we know what kinks that Lisa has.
At least
Well,
what are your
decides
pros?
turns her on.
Pro is
You should have
Tinkerbell.
one.
She was Tinkerbell is beautiful. 100% love Tinkerbell. I thought that the girl who played Wendy did a good job, and I thought that I was happy to see a Peter Pan that actually looked like a mischievous little boy instead of
A grown-ass man.
A girl running around
with a barrel chest, hairy chest. Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Well, Jason, you already gave us one of your cons.
Yeah,
I guess you care to elaborate further.
It's definitely not Hook. Well, I do have another con that is associated with that. This Neverland just looks boring. It just is old. It's an island. There you go. You're in an island, and it's nothing fanciful or cool or anything about it other than the fact I did kind of like the little hideaway they had, but it's like it still is like bottom of the barrel for looks. If your name isn't Captain Hook or Wendy or Peter, you don't get any character development whatsoever, which is fine. With the exception of Wendy, all the children in this suck. I mean, but they're kids actors. I did not like the kid as Peter Pan. I thought he was very wooden. I get the kid aspect of it, but I just want a little bit more. And lastly, how the fuck are you going to have Alan Tudyk in a thing and you're not going to make him like a main character?
Yeah,
like,
that was very weird.
Like, why even bother having him show up if he's not going to be Alan fucking Tudyk? All right, come on.
His kid must be in the movie. I bet we need to check we need to check and see because I bet his kid's in the movie.
You want to go to Disney World? Well, then I got to be in this movie too.
Yeah, that was weird.
All right, let me give my cons. My cons, if you're gonna have a black Tinkerbell, at least make her useful in the sense of like give her real lines and things. Like Julia Roberts had real lines. Yeah, but again, like you're gonna make the controversy for having her at least like dive fully in on it.
She out there doing cornrows and
right. Why and how is Peter Pan not the bad guy of this movie? I will never know that. They literally should have just made him the bad guy, and it would have worked probably a lot better in this movie. And I do have an issue with girls being lost boys. Yes, the resident woman hater here. And the only reason I have an issue with it is because the reason that it was never done before, because the book said that girls are too smart and crafty to be lost. Like, I think that's a great thing to have. Like, it's like in the fact that they usually get stated. So I did feel like when having the girls there, it took away like the fact of like why Wendy is so important in the Peter Pan story. Because she
shows up as their mother. Yeah,
exactly. In the moral compass and all the stuff that boys are getting.
Peter Pan realized he wants to have sex there as well.
That too.
He's like, oh, what am I missing out on? Oh shit, let's go. We leaving. We're going. Pack it up, guys. We're leaving.
I mean, because arguably Peter Pan is like 30, 40 years old, technically. Probably. I mean, he's as old as Captain Hook is. Probably so. Anyway.
We don't know how long they were playing together. They could have been playing together for 100 years.
And I would have rebutted when Jason said it, but I was going to let it ride. I do not think the music here was memorable. I cared less about it. And I think maybe too, because I was already bracing for you to trash it because you thought it was a musical. So in my mind, I was like, oh, if none of this don't slap, I'm out. And I don't think none of it slapped. So I was out. And then maybe it's just the Lin-Manuel in me now that every song in a musical that's redone has to slap now. That nothing in here slapped for me. So I was out, man.
You know who else was in this that I was like, this is totally underutilized? I don't know why they put this guy as in this character. Jim Gaffigan was Smee. Yeah, it was a waste. And I'm like, he doesn't do any like freaking Bob Hoskins is Smee. We're going to go back to Hook every single time.
All right, Lisa, your cons, Lisa.
Okay, so a con was number one. Jason said it was a musical, so I was expecting a musical. So I know that that's not the movie's fault; that's Jason's fault.
What the fuck?
However, you said, "God damn you, Jason! This is a musical." So I was really excited, thinking that I was watching a Peter Pan musical. Right. It's not, guys. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Thank God.
I agree. Neverland, because that's what I was like. Okay, wait to Neverland, because I was watching this movie with my kids. I was like, okay, guys, we just gotta wait till we get to Neverland, and then it's gonna be beautiful and fantastical. And it wasn't. It was, and it like the colors are kind of muted.
It
and
was just an
it was
island.
like based like you were just in England. I don't know. It wasn't good. I'm over it. I just feel like if you're gonna redo movies like this, give it a different story with the same kind of feel. So I agree. I wanted a Peter Pan being the bad guy, and I wanted like I'm tired of watching the same things over and over. It's like with the Lion King, they just keep doing the same movies over and over, and I'm over that. And Disney's really bad about doing that. And part of that is because I know part of the reason why I'm so hard on it is because I'm recently watching Once Upon a Time, which is a Disney show.
Yeah.
And like they have an entire story arc where you find out that Peter Pan is in fact like a demon, and he's like an asshole, and he almost killed Captain Hook, and Captain Hook is actually like a good guy, and he's not ugly. And so
Look, Jude Law is a good looking man, just not in this.
I'm not a huge Jude Law fan, but also like all the pirates looked ugly. Like they all look nasty, gross, like living in no, but like yes, like pirates, but I mean, it just didn't have anything that I was interested in. So this was a movie that I did not finish. I tried to pick it up again, and I couldn't, because I don't care, because I already know what's gonna happen. And yeah, so that's it.
Peter Pan and Hook kiss at the end.
Oh, no, they don't. I looked it up. I'm just kidding. I didn't.
That would be weird, and I would not.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, because he's a kid. But also, I agree, because I was saying the same thing. Hook already exists. Like we have a fantastic movie that is Hook, and as millennials, we hopefully have all made our children watch Hook. So what do we need another regular Peter Pan for? Get out of here. Nothing. Jason, are you serious? You have not made Brody watch Hook?
I haven't made my kids watch Hook either. Not yet.
I let my child dictate the things that he likes.
Let's be real now. Like, Hook is a Peter Pan story, but is that the story of Peter Pan?
No, that's why it's fantastic.
Oh, I agree. 100%.
Because fuck Peter Pan. We don't need all that nonsense.
Even Peter Pan grew up. I love Hook. It's not that great of a movie. I love the movie. It bombed
because Rufio was so cool. That's the only reason I like it. Rufio
is cool for us.
Yeah, anytime you got Zuko in there, I'm here for it.
Yeah, he was great. And he should have died. I like to think that Peter Pan doesn't know that Hook is trying to kill him.
Oh, he thinks it's a game. He thinks it's a joke.
Peter's dumb, clearly. We've learned that.
I like to think that Peter Pan still thinks him and Hook are friends, and they're just playing, and Hook's like, no, I'm trying to murder you, dude.
Right?
Like, I'm trying to kill that child over there.
But he's such a stunned adult, he doesn't realize he has like grown man strength to kill a kid. Yeah, I know. I feel the same way. I'm
sorry. I never can really give Hook his full villain props, because like his arch nemesis is a child that he cannot kill, and I'm like, you know how easy it is to kill a child.
That's why I liked Once Upon a Time version better, because he was a demon, so it made more sense. Like,
they're children. How are you losing to a sword fight to a child? Like, just grab the sword and beat him up.
Yeah. Yeah, right. All right, we're going to the roundup, is where we go over all our pros, go over our cons, give a quick synopsis, and then give us our rating for the film. We're going to go ahead and start off with Jason. What is your roundup for Peter Pan and Wendy?
Peter Pan and Wendy. Pros. Relationship between Captain Hook and Peter Pan adds an extra emotional layer to the story. The pair of songs that are diegetic and pretty good. At least I thought so. Tiger Lily isn't just a racist stereotype, in my opinion. I'm not Native American, so what do I know? Gabo Anderson is actually pretty great as Wendy, and I like the fact that Peter apologized to James at the end. I really, really enjoyed that. Cons, if your name isn't Captain Hook, Wendy, or Peter, you ain't doing shit. With the exception of Ever Anderson, the child acting is terrible. It is absolutely god-awful. Neverland, it sucks. It's just a regular old island. It's nothing great about it. The biggest con, this isn't Hook. Why not? And finally, if you're going to cast Alan Tudyk in your movie, let Alan Tudyk.
Mhm.
My overall score, I actually ended up enjoying this. It was 3 out of 5 for me.
All right.
Mm.
All right.
Okay.
Roundup for Peter Pan and Wendy. For myself, my pros are the character felt mischievous and devious like a Peter Pan should. Wendy felt way more important in this movie. I actually felt bad for Captain Hook, and that is a nice twist for the movie. Another pro was Black Tinkerbell. But my cons are
Blinkerbell.
Black Tinkerbell didn't have much to do in this one. Excuse me. She didn't have much to do that I wanted her to do. Let's say that. And my con is, why didn't you make Peter the bad guy? You had it right there on the platter for you. Should have leaned in. Another con is that the Lost Boys have girls in it. I hate it because I love the mythos that girls are too smart to be lost. And I never felt like the music was very memorable in here. Like I said, I think this Disney ran out of money halfway through this movie too, because some of the wire work on the flying got really terrible near the end.
Well, we gotta find an island. Just put up some cardboard. This is fine.
Right. So I'm going to give this a 2 out of 5. I mean, I didn't even my kids started trying to watch it, and I was like, yeah, y'all wasting your time.
Why y'all sitting here? Go play outside.
Right. Exactly. I was like, yeah, do something else. Lisa, what is your roundup for Peter Pan and Wendy?
Pro was I like Tinkerbell. I thought Wendy was great, and Peter Pan looked, it was a nice seeing Peter Pan actually look like a little boy instead of a little girl. Cons were literally everything about the movie. Tiger Lily. It wasn't a musical.
That it exists.
Lackluster. The lackluster Neverland. Tired of seeing the same stories done the exact same way by Disney. So I like alternate universes, and this would have been the perfect opportunity for them to give us an alt story. 1 out of 5.
Damn, I didn't make the movie, Lisa. Why you look at me like you said that?
Congratulations, Peter Pan and Wendy. You played yourself. Did anybody see that movie Pan? Like the other? No, okay, I didn't either.
Because there was one that came out in 2003. There was a Peter Pan and Wendy that came out in 2003. I watched that one, and it was weird because it was oddly like sexual, and I was like, this is gross. But the one that came out in between, I'm like, I don't give a shit about Peter Pan. Like, how many times
quit making Peter Pan movies.
And the reason they're making it is because it's freaking in public domain, and you can make Peter Pan movies and not get sued. So yeah, I didn't see the Pan one. I don't. If it's not a sequel or a retelling or related to Hook, I don't give a fuck about Peter Pan.
Yeah.
And you know what? They can't make a sequel or anything related to Hook because Robin Williams is dead. And I don't want to see that movie without Robin Williams. So stop making Peter Pan shit. Let the dude die. It's fine. I did actually enjoy this.
I'm so confused by everything that you say, Jason.
Moving right along.
Moving right along. Footless and family free. Let's start with this. Animation studios from around the world bring their unique perspective to the Star Wars universe through a series of short films. That's all it says about season 2 of Star Wars Visions, now currently airing on Disney+. Now, if you don't know, now you know. For everything you do, we do a 1-sentence review. Lisa, go ahead and give us your 1-sentence review that you're coming up right now for Star Wars Visions.
Star Wars Visions 2. I had a vision that I didn't know anything about Star Wars, but thank God this isn't canon.
See, she's the best at this. She's so good. Like you didn't get write this down. She just came out with the top of her head.
That girl good.
Jason, go ahead and hit us.
I wish the sequel trilogy of Star Wars had a Vision 2.
Damn! Wow, that's just multi-layers that you just dissed on everybody. You just spat in J.J. Abrams' face like.
He knows what he did.
He knows what he did.
I'm sorry. My sentence is, I don't care. It's all canon to me. I don't care.
I thought we were going to say what's canon, what's not canon.
We are going to say
Jason's answer.
Canon, but I don't care. It's all canon to me.
Okay.
I guess I'll start this time.
Start with the pros and cons here, Jason.
Yes. So my pros, I probably just outlined some of the episodes. So Sith was a pro for me. Looked amazing. Probably the best looking thing that they've made out of 1 and 2. Screecher's Reach was a plus for me because I like the ending, and I was like, oh, that's a nice twist where, you know, the bad guys, okay, cool.
Bad guys, the bad guy.
Yeah, Journey to the Dark Head felt like Naruto to me. So I was all in on that. And then the Spy Dancer, I really, really enjoyed, even though it was very predictable, but I loved the look of it and the spectacle of it all. But yeah, those are my 4 pros right there. All right. Lisa, would you like to go next?
Sure.
As she stares at a blank screen. Here we go, bro.
Yeah, I have nothing. So my pro was I love it when shows do this. Like it's very like Love, Death, and Robots. I love seeing stuff like this. Because it also gives animators a chance to like kind of get their name out there or just like do little things, pet projects. I love the one that you said that looked like Naruto. That was the one I actually watched that one twice.
Yeah, really
which I shouldn't have because I didn't get to watch the last episode because I watched. Look, I didn't make good choices. Okay,
this one's fine. We'll just watch it twice.
And then I loved the first one, even though I didn't know what the heck was going on. But
I just thought that one was beautiful.
Yeah. So and I love that y'all told me that it wasn't canon because that's why I thought I was like, God, I really am not a Star Wars fan. And
I don't know any of this shit.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? And then y'all are like, oh no, it's not canon. I was like, oh, okay, let me just enjoy what I'm watching then before I feel like I have to read a freaking companion.
Have to do a dissertation on a on a walk.
Yeah. So
I've got to read 16 books to figure out what's going on in this thing.
Yeah.
All right, Jason.
My pros are the beautiful. You get to see beautiful animation from several high-profile animation studios. Having creators tell stories without worrying about if it's canon or not, it's lots of fun. These shorts are short, so you don't have a huge time sink. Some of these offer some really interesting ideas that should be actually included into the Star Wars universe. It inspires me to actually go back and make content and write. And I really, really love Au's song. Oh, that one, the last one, made me cry.
Okay.
Those are my pros.
The one I didn't watch.
The one you didn't watch. The one you did not watch. I actually really, really enjoyed.
God. Okay.
I'll rebuttal and say I did not care for that one.
Well, you suck.
Yeah, and then look, the premise.
You don't have
is
joy
very
in your
nice.
heart. You don't have joy.
The premise is cool. I liked it. The whole de-bleeding the kyber crystals to get them back. And I don't know, man. I felt like he was playing for the cheap seats. That's what I feel like. I feel like I was playing for the cheap seats. I feel like they were making it like overly emotional to play to the cheap seats, and I think that's why I was like, ugh. When
I see you on Saturday, I'm going to give you a hug.
Okay, I appreciate it. I take those anyway, so I appreciate that. Let me go into my cons. My cons were, let's be real. I'm gonna think my theme in the cons. I'm just going to sum it up to anyone that had an annoying kid is my con, and that's why I only had 4. Because in the stars, the little sister annoying as hell. I'm your mother. The little girl has a dope mother and is annoying as hell. The bandits of Galak. The little kid was keep doing stupid stuff, knowing they on the run, made me annoyed as hell.
Stop doing the Jedi stuff, kid.
Right. The only one, like the Pit and Au's song, are the only ones that really didn't have annoying kids. But like, I think the Pit, the premise was too, I guess, manufactured for me because I feel like in the process of them digging that hole when the city is being built, nobody ever.
What's that big hole over there for?
right. But then
why you digging this hole? Y'all didn't dig up no ladders and no shit.
Right. And I get the symbolism of it, but I just felt like that was just a stretch to be like, oh, they heard their voices, so now they're going to come when nobody questioned any of that stuff through the whole time. Like even in our society, it'd have been 2, 3 knuckleheads and that we'd have called crazy. You've been like, oh, it's a hole down there. People can't get out of it. We'd have been like, oh, get out of here, crazy.
Time out. Everybody in that city would have known that hole in there, and they would have thrown shit in there, and they would not have cared.
Right.
Motherfuckers is down that hole. They would be pissing off that hole. Look at them fuckers down there shitting in the hole. They wouldn't have given 2 shits if people were in there. If this is the real world.
And like I said,
And the
every
black
song, I
kid
just
had to
felt-
die.
Yeah, I hated that too. Which I saw the symbolism they did there, but I was
Yeah, I got it.
that's what I felt like too. I was like, I'm not the woke go broke crowd, but I was like, yeah, you were really hitting this right on the head here,
Thanks.
Yeah. And then I song again, like I said, I just thought they were playing for the cheap seats on there. So I enjoyed the premise. I just couldn't get with it. But yeah, those are my cons. Lisa, I know your whole cons is the whole Star Wars universe.
God.
No, I love Star Wars.
Not Star Wars.
So my con is I thought like each episode was either a hit or miss. So it wasn't
Mhm.
like, hey, it's okay. It was either I loved it or I hated it. And then there were just some episodes that were just so tropey, and I just felt like it was a trope with just Star Wars in the background. I hate that shit. Like the one with the you said with the mom with the racer, and she's like,
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed by you. I'm like, what the fuck? You're not. Like, who
I sent you to
acts like
pilot
that?
school. And
Yeah,
made
she's
you lunch.
she's willing to race with you against stupid helmet hair mama over there, and then you're gonna just be like, you're embarrassing. Like, you're embarrassing jerk.
I want to be seen with
Like,
you.
Yeah.
Right.
I should have had a misfortune.
Like an addendum, just addendum to that. It's just that they could have made the embarrassing thing with one scene. They could have had the mother doing something and everybody in the city just making fun of her and her being like embarrassed by her mother doing whatever it is. Like that one scene that could have took 20 seconds. We could have been like, oh, we see why she feels the way she feels about her mother. But instead, they made her mother awesome. And we're sitting there like, anyway, it may be the parent. And
I agree. Like, what is the? I agree. And that was the thing, like with the kids, because I don't hate kids, but I'm with Jason on this one. All the kids in this in every episode I watch, they suck, and it doesn't make sense for the story because they all have grown up in this area.
Yes.
So it'd be like the same thing with like a kid who's grown up in a zombie apocalypse, or a kid who's grown up, in that stupid that movie where you can't talk. They know it's like innate in their brain that they can't act a certain way. So it did not make sense to the story. It wasn't believable.
Like, how are you going to think that you're going to take down the giant stormtrooper factory when your parents got killed over there?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it did not make sense. Like, and I couldn't. Every time any kid was being stupid, I was like,
I pushed her in and like,
the
y'all can have her. I want to
fuck?
go live over here. Bro.
And like I do think that the kid in the aerial one, the one where she was like flying through, she had like the rhythm dancers and
spy dancers.
She wasn't bad in that one. She just legitimately just wanted to help, and it wasn't like more. And she wanted to do more, and she did come back and actually she was useful. So she didn't cause the problem, which was nice. Right. So that one was my favorite one. I think I take it back, not the Naruto one. I think that one was my favorite, especially the way it ended. I should have watched that one twice. Oh well, it's fine. So I completely went off the rails. I'm sorry.
We're still going over cons.
Oh yeah, cons. So then the second con is whenever you have episodes.
That was one con.
That was one.
I was thinking the same thing, but I was going to be quiet. Reclaim your time.
Whenever you have multiple short episodes, and then they're so like either really good or really annoying, it makes me want the really good ones to be longer, and which completely defeats the purpose of this, thing. But that was it. That's my cons. It wasn't a whole lot. I actually really enjoyed the show. I heard my husband, my partner in crime,
our technical advisor on the show.
Yes, technical advisor. Thank you. Our producer who doesn't produce anything for us yet. He started watching season 1, and he said season 1 is amazing.
He calls me. He's like, "Why did I not see this?" And I'm like, "I know. Why did you not see this?"
So I'm gonna go back, I think, and watch season 1 because I love stuff like this. Anything that just lets me just detach and remember why I love Star Wars. I'm here.
Text us when you see The Ninth Jedi.
Okay. Finn.
My cons for the show is that it's not as good as season 1.
Yeah.
And Aardman Films needs to stick to Wallace and Gromit and not make Star Wars shorts. That's it.
That's it. Okay. We'll jump right into
nice.
Jump right into the roundup where we will go over all our pros, cons, and our rating for the Star Wars Visions. I'll go ahead and start.
Wait, question. I thought we
Yes.
were
You have
gonna
question?
pick. I thought we were gonna pick what we
No,
wanted
we
to
have
be
questions.
canon.
Don't you have questions?
Oh, I was
You
thinking
make
we're going to do that at the end. We can.
Okay,
Oh.
just do it then. Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's his show, everybody. We just
I'm
work
sorry,
here.
Oh, I
guys.
mean, it's fine.
I'm
It's fine.
sorry.
I want to at least
I'm
get the reviews. We don't confuse people. But
My
yeah.
bad.
What's going on
It's
now?
all right.
What are they talking about?
yeah, all right. So we're doing a roundup where we go over all our pros, cons, and we give the rating for Star Wars Visions 2. So I'll start off. My pros were the episodes of The Sith, Screecher's Reach, Journey to the Dark Head, and The Spy Dancer. My cons were pretty much anything that had annoying kids in it. So that's In the Stars, I Am Your Mother, The Bandits of Galak. But I feel like it's damn near everything at this point. And then The Pit, I just felt the premise was too unbelievable, which that feels like a dumb thing because we're talking about Star Wars, laser swords, etc. Right. And IU Song, I felt like they were trying to go hard to be sentimental and play to the cheap seats, and it just didn't attach me like that. All in all, like I said, I think it's not as good as season 1, but I still did enjoy it because it is Star Wars, and it's Star Wars that's not bad. So I did give it a 2.5 out of 5 for my rating.
Respectable.
All right, Lisa, what do you have for us?
Oh, I already forgot what my pros were, but so just kidding. My pros were I loved seeing all the different animation types. I love the shorts, so you get to let you see into little sections of Star Wars. It reminded me why I love Star Wars again, and it didn't make everything canon, so it was easy to watch. Cons were anytime there was a kid, it was annoying. The tropes were too tropey and just felt like it was a Star Wars background. And the show wasn't consistent of like it just had 2 high highs and 2 low lows. And so overall, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. Okay. And Jason, what are your pros and cons for Star Wars Visions 2?
Pros: beautiful animation from several high-profile studios. Having new creators tell stories without worrying about canon is lots of fun. Shorts are shorts. Don't spend a lot of time watching this. Some of these are offer some really interesting ideas that should actually be added to the Star Wars universe. Inspires me to make content. And IU Song, I don't know how to pronounce that name.
I'm sure that's exactly how you say
it.
Cons: this is not as good as season 1. And Arden Studios, I love Chicken Run. I love Wallace and Gromit. Y'all need to stick doing that. Period. I'm gonna agree with Lisa. 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. Okay, we got it. All right, so we're gonna go through what episodes should or could be canon for Star Wars here. I'll bring up our list of episodes here for us.
Yeah, and you're gonna
so I guess the first one is Sith. The very first one, of which I said the first one, so that tells you which one it is. I'm gonna go because I think the guy chasing her was more of an Inquisitor, if I'm correct, than actually a Sith, if I'm correct about that, Jason. I don't know, you may have to correct me on that. Okay, good. So
well, it can't be a Sith. It can't be a Sith because there can only be 2. So it has to.
This isn't canon. I mean,
that's what we're deciding.
So you're going not canon, then?
No. I'm saying it's canon regardless of whether it's actually.
So then
canon.
It can't be a Sith. Then it has to be an Inquisitor.
I'm gonna go with this is canon because I like the thought process of her finding balance with the blade being light and dark. So I'm gonna go this is canon, and I could dig it.
I think.
I agree.
Go ahead, Lisa.
No, I agree that it should be canon because it finally says it finally is like, yeah, you can't have one without the other. You can't have balance without both. You better shut. I'm gonna slap him.
I didn't say anything. It's made a face. I'm sorry. You must have the Force works.
That is exactly how the Force. Whatever. I can't wait. I can't wait for Freddie Prinze Jr. to get to Dragon Con so you can go to his freaking Star Wars panel so he can school all of you freaking people who don't understand how the Force works. I agree. It should be canon. Go ahead.
Okay.
I agree. It should be canon. Yes, it should be canon. I think if in my head canon, that is her master trying to track her down to make her a Sith. And I like that she was like, no, I'm going to be my own person.
Okay.
But there's no such thing as great Jedi.
She said just like,
Scre-
no, thank you.
Screecher's Reach, where Screecher goes on her own journey. Well, I guess the girl goes on her own journey to
I don't
the
know her
haunted cave or mansion thing and
Oh,
tries to defeat her things. Lisa, canon or not canon?
no, I can pass. Pass on that
Jason.
one.
I like it. I think it's canon. I think that's exactly what a Sith would do when we find someone to inspire hope in them, just to be like, yeah, leave your friends behind. Come with me. I've got candy on my ship.
Yeah, you want some candy?
I'm gonna ride with Lisa in here. I'm gonna say it's not canon just for that means the Sith was sitting around with a trap set for the next apprentice, and it was just hanging out there for years because they made it seem like this legend was a long time standing. So this Sith was just hanging out there like, oh, nobody today. All right, I guess we just hang out tomorrow. Like, no, I'm gonna go not canon.
In my head, canon here. See what I'm doing here?
Yeah,
that was the apprentices or the Sith that came and picked her former master, and she wanted, and they had had some sort of falling out, and she wanted someone to kill her, and that's what happened. And now she's a new master.
All right,
canon.
Okay.
In the stars with the sisters.
Fuck them kids.
So, Jason, canon or not canon?
I love the animation style of this, but fuck them kids. Some kids would have died a long time ago. Not canon.
Oh, not canon. Okay, Lisa, your thoughts?
I
canon
agree.
Or not canon?
Not canon. It was. That's one that just felt like a filler. It just had the Star Wars backdrop on it.
I'm actually gonna go canon on this one, man.
I did love the stop motion ATST. I thought that was cool.
That was pretty cool. I'm gonna go canon on this one just because we've seen Force Ghosts since the Last Jedi, like strike lightning and do crazy stuff. So I'm gonna ride with a canon on this one because this one can happen but not affect the greater overall story. So I'm gonna go canon on that one.
They become stars. Get out of here.
I am your mother.
Not
racer. Pod racing. All right, Jason, letting me know, not canon. Lisa, your thoughts on this one?
So I'm torn because obviously we know that pod racing is canon in the Star Wars universe, but I don't want that stupid girl in it. Like maybe she just actually. Oh, I'm not going to say that.
Wedge Antilles would have kicked her out of that academy for treating her mom like that.
I will say canon because of the pod racing, or just because of the racing. Canon.
I'm going to say not canon, and it's going to be a very nitpicky reason why. And when we watch Star Wars, The Phantom Menace, the fact that Anakin as a human was trying to do it and as a kid was like completely taboo. They literally had a race where it was like, race with your parent day. Like,
and your baby brother.
Right, so, not canon to me because they would not put those kids
Bring your kids to work day
with the parents.
This will not turn out badly at all.
Right.
There's no danger in handling this. Put your small baby Chewbacca in there with you.
Right. And this is, in The Phantom Menace, this is a thing being run by like the Hutts. And they don't give a damn about nobody, and they still were like, "Nah, kids shouldn't be doing this." So this is like, nope, it's fine. So,
Which until he opens up a illegal Fast and Furious,
right? Journey to the Dark Head, where they're going to go cut off the head of the dark side of the statue because she thinks that's going to bring light side balance to the Force. Lisa, canon or not canon?
Canon. I'll just watch a whole damn show on that alone. Yeah,
I'm gonna agree that I can say that's canon because I could see that being actually a part of the Star Wars universe and like so because there are other Force sensitive groups out there that aren't Jedi, and I could imagine one of them like, yo, if we just do this crazy thing, maybe I'll win. I don't know.
So I agree. I think it's canon. The only hesitation I have is that when she talks in front of the Jedi Council, was that Obi-Wan that was over there kicking it?
Probably. I don't know.
Because if it's Obi-Wan, then I have to be like, it's not canon, because that would be very odd.
I just got to the point where I just assumed I didn't know who anyone was. So I
just figured they were just all just random masters.
That's what I'm saying, because they looks like if you watch it looks like Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan. And if that is him in that role, kind of makes you feel like that'd be suspect that he sends that one for a mission that maybe
it's
vitally
his great
important.
Ancestor Toby-Wan.
Roby one.
It could be. We know how Star Wars loves to make lineages be the only thing that's powerful. So
I'm assuming that most of these people are incestuous anyway. So how many humans?
But I'm gonna go
possibly
canon
be?
like you all because
Safe to
I love the premise. I'm gonna go canon. But, the spy dancer.
Canon.
I'm gonna go
Canon.
Yeah,
Love it.
because that's just because this would just be like they're rebels just trying to do their thing on their planet. It does
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
That
canon
was
as well.
Also beautiful and
yeah, really nice.
the story was very believable.
I don't think the. Go ahead.
Maybe not her like aerialing through the.
Oh no,
but
no,
like
I was not talking about that. But go ahead.
But like her kid getting stolen because we've seen now that stormtroopers were kidnapping kids off, and
Your baby mine.
yeah. So canon for me.
All right. The next are the bandits of Gulak.
What's that one about? I can't remember.
That's about the kid on the train. The two kids on the train.
Yeah.
I do love the fact that they made this look like, South Asian because, a lot of Star Wars comes from like the South Asian philosophy, like Buddhism or Sikhism and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But not canon.
Wow. Why not canon? I gotta hear your reasons on this one.
I don't like Indian people.
Oh my god.
Fair enough.
He's joking.
I'm joking. I just don't like the annoying kid. I don't know. I just like the end where the lady is like, she can come with me, but you got to stay here and probably get murdered.
That is my main reason for saying it's not canon.
I can't bring you two. It's only for her and me. Bye. Like, what the fuck? Like,
that is my main reason.
All these dead bodies. Like, nah.
Yeah. Literally, my only reason for not canon is that because no self-respecting Jedi would just leave another kid out there on their own. We'll at least bring them in and get them transported somewhere. That was the main reason I said not canon. I was like, no Jedi
next
would do
planet
that.
Or something with some credits.
Right, especially a Jedi that risked her neck to like save that force-sensitive kid. She definitely would have been like, hey, because all life is vital and all that crap that Jedi believe in. Anyway, yes, I agree. Not canon.
By the way,
F that lady.
You have to deal with this. Bye.
Right. The pit, which is self-explanatory. The one where they made the pit and
through the
canon or not canon.
I guess canon. I mean, we know that that's a thing. So
I want
that could
more
be
black
in any Star Wars.
So canon.
Right.
Yeah.
Make the black people the prisoners. Yeah, fuck you, Star Wars. Yes, canon. Yes, I agree. But like that's happening, especially hunting for kyber crystals, definitely Empire-like thing. So and then the last one, I'll use song. Canon or not canon.
Yo no sé. I didn't see.
I think it's canon.
So I know we know that you can, I guess, de-bleed a kyber crystal if needed. So I know that's a thing. So I'm gonna go with canon because the premise is pretty dope because that's what they do. So I'm gonna go canon, but that's the only reason I'm gonna take this as canon.
But I also don't think you can make all the kyber crystals bleed. Just on a whole entire planet, you make all of them bleed. You must dark force energy that we use. Who was down there? Darth Bane? Just and y'all still decided to live there? Fuck
that. He's having a great day.
Hey, look, man, everybody can't just get up and leave on a ship, my dude.
Yeah, everybody in Star Wars is dirt poor. They're all a bunch of dirt farmers and shit.
Yeah, well, facts. All right, well, that is all of them canon or not canon. All you Star Wars junkies are going to be like, well, the director said this wasn't, and this is creative. Shut up. We're playing.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Yeah, shut up. Stop making us hate Star Wars. God.
Just shut up in general, because we don't want to listen to you. Because every time you say anything comes out, this sucks. There's a black person. This sucks.
Yeah.
Why is there an Asian person doing Asian things? This sucks.
It's an Asian person doing what's considered Asian things, just so I know.
Living, breathing.
Oh, okay. I was making sure.
Literally just being on screen.
I didn't know if it was like a
She's the
thing
worst thing that ever happened to Star Wars. God. Freaking Star Wars fans. I hate you all.
I do not. Even though I actually like, I just rewatched the Force Awakens because I'm going through all the Star Wars with my kid, and even though I like The Last Jedi, like they do Finn so dirty in that movie, and it makes me so angry because
Yeah,
they're like, hey,
do.
you are on your own. You're no longer a part of the story, sir.
Which
See
is
yourself out.
ridiculous because they built Finn was they built him up to be such a great character, and he was amazing. I don't know.
If you watch Force Awakens, you could almost think that Finn is the main character.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
up until like basically the very end, where
Yeah.
where Rey actually gets the lightsaber, you'd be like, Finn's the main character in this. This is Finn's movie.
Yeah. Yes,
And
I
then they're like,
agree. Well, I thought
I
Finn and
agree.
Ray shared it. I thought it was their movie.
yeah, but I would say it would be more of Finn's movie. But yeah, I would say it's like a 45-55%.
Well, see, I don't think Finn was done dirty in The Last Jedi. I just think he didn't get the results we wanted him to have in The Last Jedi. Because I mean, he wakes up with the urgency of trying to find Rey, gets Rose, gets shot. They go on a mission together, which is a legitimate mission that's supposed to help the rebels. It doesn't turn out well, which is the whole point of The Last Jedi, is that things don't always turn out the way it's supposed to because we're killing the past. I think it's because it wasn't a fulfilling conclusion in The Last Jedi. And then you followed up with Rise of Skywalker, where he's completely nerfed. It does make
like,
The Last Jedi feel even 100%.
Worse. Don't like it no more.
Right. It feels even worse because it's the beginning of it in The Last Jedi.
And
Because this part of the story is legit.
And it hurts that, like, I think for me, it hurts because we now know that they originally had a different plan for the story, but because how horrible they were bullied online and how horrible the fans were and the trolls
and how horrible the book of Henry was.
It like they just completely just changed it. It's like people are gonna watch it no matter what. So why not just put out what you originally had planned that you clearly built from The Force Awakens? Because it's completely obvious that it's not what you had. Like by the time you get to what is it, The Last Jedi? No.
Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker. By the time you get to Rise of Skywalker, it's obvious that is not ever what they had planned. And but just because
from the first
toxic Star Wars fans annoyed the fuck out of me.
From the first line when Poe is like, Palpatine returns somehow, you're just like, that's not something somebody would say. Like,
no.
Right.
Even though they explained like, oh, it must be cloning and shit, they would have been like, he's always been pulling the strings or some shit like that. If they had
like even I think also too what kills Last Jedi is it opens with Luke's nonchalantness about coming back, and we never the payoff for that never feels adequate enough for people. Like if let's say if it wasn't a hologram and Luke actually would have came back and went like bonkers, people would have looked at Last Jedi as a higher movie because they would have gotten quote unquote what they wanted. But because it was a force hologram, which takes extreme amount of force ability to do it across the galaxy,
that it killed himself.
Right. Like nobody respected that, but because nobody got that the premise of this was because literally, like you said, we hate when the movies say the thing that they're trying to do. Like Kylo Ren literally tells you what the movie's about, and everybody's like, I don't want that. I want the old thing because that's what Force Awakens was. It was the old thing. So anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Sam Witwer has interview that Sam Witwer is the guy who plays the voice of Darth Maul. He was also Star Killer in the Force Unleashed games. He has a video clip that's been going around lately about how he, even though the portrayal of Luke Skywalker that we got is acceptable, he, being a big part of the Star Wars universe and having hung out with Dave Filoni, believes it's kind of a betrayal of his character because Luke's compassion is what saved the universe, really, right? Like, the guy who was willing to be like, I'm not going to fight and hurt someone, even that means my death, was like, I'm going to kill my nephew, but my best friend and my sister's kid, even if it was for a second, doesn't really seem like Luke. Like, I don't know. But I'm not But if they had showed us his journey from that point to that point, then yeah, of course we would.
Right, I wouldn't say. I think it's missing
because we had 30 years.
Yeah,
we have 30 years in between then and there. So obviously, in 30 years, a man can change and grow and do all sorts of different things.
Right.
But if we were going to use Luke from the end of him,
Return of the Jedi
to where we see him again, it's two different dudes. Like, Completely
Yeah, I
different.
think
dudes.
the only issue with the whole almost killing my nephew thing is the premise of almost killing his nephew was in fear of quote unquote another Vader or Emperor being born. Then you remove yourself from the equation and you allow it to happen. I always felt that was an inconsistent thought process. Like you were willing to kill him because you didn't want that to happen, but then your decision to not do it
Not
and
do,
remove yourself allowed it still just to happen. So would you
or
want
instead
to
of
then
just like,
be part of the fight? Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
because you
It
allowed
just
it to happen anyway. Like either way, you might as well do something rather than not do something. Because either way, the thing that you wanted not to happen happened because you didn't.
right. Yeah,
So
either
like,
way.
oh,
Yeah.
the thing that I wanted to happen didn't happen. Well,
Yeah.
I guess I'm done.
Right,
Yeah,
right. I'll just blame the force, so I'll cut it off from my system
Shucks.
and sit on this island. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Star Wars doesn't know what they're doing anyway, so it's fine.
I blame Kathleen Kennedy because she's a woman.
Yep.
That's a joke, Lisa.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's a joke. Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I thought we were. Everybody else like, yeah, that she sucks. Like, no.
I don't blame Kathleen Kennedy. I do blame. I think Disney had too much to say, and I just think that So I do blame.
All right,
but yeah, sorry.
Get this sucker over with here.
All right, I'm sitting this one out, y'all.
You're sitting this one out.
I didn't make it to the movie.
Hopefully, we agree or disagree. Hopefully, we're just nice and friends after this. I don't know. Still reeling from the loss of Gamora, Peter Quill must rally his team to defend the universe and protect one of their own. If the mission is not completely successful, it could possibly lead to the end of the Guardians as we know them. That is synopsis from Google for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now, if you don't know, now you know. For everything we do, we give it a 1 sentence review. And we're going to go full spoilers, too, for all of you who haven't seen it yet. So full spoilers alerts already. But Jason,
should I, take off my ear? What should I do? I don't want spoilers. I want to watch this movie.
Okay. Well, you may have to
take off your ears.
Take off your ears.
Yeah, take off your ears.
I'll just only kind of listen.
Just like, nah. I'll try not to go any spoilers to begin with, okay? Jason, give us your 1 sentence review.
The Guardians against Marvel's Phase 4 galactic failures ended today.
I don't even know what that means. That's way too
Did you like it or hate it? What's happening? That's very cryptic.
For me, unlike my sex partners, this has a satisfying conclusion.
Oh my god.
Come on.
There you go. Jason, would you like to start off with your pros?
I would like to start off with my pros. I think I only have one spoiler in here, so I'll make sure to let you know at least before I hit it. The story gives a chance for all the characters to shine, and most of them have their own little arcs. There is a perfect balance between fun and funny while also having some serious dramatic moments. The action scenes are kinetic and exciting. The hallway fight scene is a lot of fun. African names. Chukwudi Iwuji kills it as a high evolutionary. I nailed that name. He kills it. He is just so good as a high evolutionary. Here's the spoiler, Lisa. I like how no one died. Spoiler over. We're good. We're good.
Okay. Ears back on.
And then lastly, my pro is Kaiju Groot.
All right. My pros actually finished this. Open the fucking door. I am Rocket Raccoon. Go Kaiju mode. They give us something back to Drax that we forgot from the first one, and it pays off beautifully for his character development. But all in all pretty much all the characters' development in this whole trilogy is amazing, and you get all the payoffs in this one. The hallway scene in this is almost as good as the hallway scene in Old Boy and in Daredevil.
I was gonna say, I was like, this is almost so close.
Okay. And my famous thing is nothing is a joke until you're willing to get serious. This movie gets serious enough that makes all the jokes land.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
Cons.
Cons.
I don't think there's any. Okay. Number one con has been all over the internet. Animal cruelty. It sucks. That's a con. And they don't really pull any punches.
Well, I was here for it. It was my pleasure.
He's like, yeah, I love it.
If people know that it's a reference inside of a reference, it's my pleasure. If you've seen Friday, the father, what he did. Anyway, go ahead.
And lastly, occasionally the flashbacks for me seem like to be out of place. Didn't really flow well sometimes. Sometimes. Not all the time. But that's it. That's all I can con.
Yeah. My cons are, again, I think, and I blaze about this one too as well. Adam Warlock didn't need to be in this movie.
Nah.
Actually, I'm kind of upset that the moment he does get at the end should have been given to a different character. But okay. And this is going to hurt me to say because you may have a rebuttal for this, Jason, but I feel like a lot of the needle drops here were completely misused. And especially the most okay, you're probably all right. Addendum, because you're probably going to say exactly what I was going to say. Okay, go ahead.
Addendum. I don't think the needle drops are very useful in this. They do make sense to the story and stuff like that, but I think because of the way that the previous two movies were done, where they were using more older songs, the fact that they did more modern stuff kind of like took you out of it a little bit.
Absolutely.
But I love to start off with Creep. That with the exception.
So good.
With the exception of that.
Yes.
That is the beginning of the movie, not a spoiler.
But Creep is probably 30 years old at this point.
Yeah,
right?
it's old. It's old at this point.
So,
but they have some more modern songs too.
That's what makes me think of my head canon is that Peter had to go to Earth and pick up some stuff and leave. Because there's no other way that we can see why he would know these songs, because these mixtapes.
Oh, he doesn't know these songs. These songs were given to him by Yondu. Yondu went to Earth and got them for him.
Okay.
Did we miss that short, or was that
was at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2? He gave him the Zune because his
I forgot about that. The Zune.
His Walkman got crushed, and the Yondu's like, I got a present for you. Gave him the Zune.
I completely forgot about. It's been so long since I watched Guardians 2. I wasn't a huge fan of the second one.
Okay. Wait. Well, I was going to say needle drops felt out of place, and at the moment I really officially realized that was when they play Reasons by Earth, Wind, and Fire. It was no reason for that to be in that moment, like, except for they just needed somebody black, like a black song. That was it.
But rebuttal, all the music is diegetic. So they're all listening to it while it's playing. So that's my only rebuttal.
Right. But
if they want to win an Academy Award, they have to make it
right. That's the criteria.
I'm not winning no damn Academy Award. This is Marvel. This is cinema.
F him. They're like, yeah, we got that song in there that a black person did. So that counts, right?
They got to meet all those. They got to meet all those ticks.
And I bet freaking Chris. What's Chris's name?
Pratt's
name. Chris Pratt's like, well, Richard Dreyfuss does have some good ideas.
He probably told him to say it.
He goes to church with me.
Yeah.
Facts.
All I'm saying is, as a multi-millionaire, I'm not doing all that great. I need more parts. Tomorrow War failed.
Let's go into Tomorrow War failed. Correct. It did fail. Let's go into the roundup where we go over the pros and cons of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Jason, what is your pros and cons for Guardians Volume 3?
Pros and cons. The story gives a chance for all the characters to shine, and most of them have their own little arcs. A perfect balance between fun and funny while also having some serious dramatic moments. The action scenes are kinetic and exciting. The hallway fight scene was a lot of fun. African name, the black guy in this movie kills it as high as evolutionary. Spoiler alert.
Oh.
I like that no one dies. Oh crap, I'm getting freaking buzzed. And then lastly, Kaiju Groot is my last pro. And my cons are animal cruelty and occasionally the flashbacks seem not to flow well.
Okay. And what is your rating, Jason?
5 out of fucking 5.
Ooh.
I love this fucking movie. This movie
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it.
All right, I'll give my roundup of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Well, this
My
wasn't a
pros
trailer.
are open the effing door. I am Rocket Raccoon. Go Kaiju mode. Drax. A fact about Drax that we forgot in his original story is brought back to light, and it works beautifully in this movie. Just the general overall character development for all the characters and how they wrap that up feels finite, but also feels like earned. The hallway scene is almost as good as Old Boy and Daredevil, and not the American remake of Old Boy. I'm talking about like the original Old
Not the
Boy.
Black Old Boy by Spike Lee.
Yeah, no. We're not doing it. We're talking like straight up old school Old Boy. And I always say that nothing is funny unless you were willing to get serious. This movie gets serious, so a majority of all the jokes land and hit. My cons are Adam Warlock shouldn't have been in this movie. It didn't really need anything except for probably to put him at the end. And the cons is I feel like some of the needle drops don't work as well in this one as it did for volume 1 and 2. And so yeah, my final, I guess we kick Jason out. My final rating on this will be 4.5 out of 5 for me. 4.5 out of 5. Loved it. I think Marvel is
4.5.
Yeah.
Suck, Jason. Who hurt you?
Look, man. I can't give it a 5 when like the music took me out of it sometimes. But yeah, like again, phenomenal movie. Probably the best thing they've done since probably the cheat code, which is Spider-Man. Yeah.
I want to add an addendum to my pros and to my pros.
Okay.
Tom Kentifil, however you pronounce her last name, whoever plays Mantis. I love her. She is awesome in it. I enjoy her thoroughly. And I just enjoy Mantis. Mantis is so much fun.
Okay. When I watch it, we can just take screenshots of our conversation about it and just post it to social.
Yeah. I got some questions for you, Jason, since you've seen this movie. Okay. Hopefully I won't go back on my thing again. Okay. How would you rank the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy within the Marvel movies? For the trilogies or the movies that have had 3+ movies, how would you rank this trilogy?
So Captain America number 1. That's easy money there. Number 2. So the categories is Iron Man, Thor.
What
else? Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Is that everybody?
I would not include the Avengers in this because that's just kind of like a thing they do. But you could include the Avengers in this if you want.
Okay. So yeah, we'll go Captain America, then we're gonna go to the Avengers, then Guardians, then Ant-Man, then Thor.
Thor is definitely last.
Oh no, sorry, I forgot about Iron Man. No, then Iron Man, then Thor. Sorry.
Thor is still last. That doesn't matter. I would put this as my number 2 slot because I feel like Captain America stuff happens. There's not really a conclusion to that until you get to the Avengers movies. So you have 3 good movies, don't get me wrong, but it's not an arc for Captain America, in that way. It's not a conclusion for him. And neither is it for any of them, with the exception of none of them. All of them keep going, really. I guess kind of the Thor ones are kind of like a close to his arc, but the last 2 movies sucked. Or at least the last movie sucked so badly that I can't. So I would put this at number 2. Captain America definitely would go number 1, though. And then Iron Man has to go 3. And then Ant-Man, and then Thor. I was missing one, aren't I?
Oh, the Avengers. But you really weren't counting that.
Yeah, I wasn't counting that. Yeah.
You also forgot about Black Widow.
She only has one movie.
Black Widow, Iron Man 2, and then what? Winter Soldier?
She only has one movie as for herself, unfortunately.
Well, that's because Marvel hates women.
It's not obviously it's not her fault. I would love to see 3 movies of Black Widow, and then they finally conclude it where she has her sister carry on. Because freaking what's her face is great.
Florence Pugh can get it. Yeah.
Yeah. You took the words out of my mouth.
I think I may have ranked. Cause see, I have enjoyed all the Ant-Man except for the last one. I'm not a huge fan of Iron Man 2. I like Iron Man 3, but it isn't like something I ever want to return to. Maybe I'll flip Ant-Man and Iron Man for my list then.
All right. Secondly, are you satisfied with the ending of this?
Yeah. I think the ending works well. I think a lot of people are not, but you can't. No ending pleases anybody anymore. So I feel like if you can tell an arc and get a character from point A to point C or D, and they feel like they've grown and developed, I feel like that's a win. I mean, hell, Quill having that elevator conversation, admitting like he effed up, was like a great moment for me. I was like, oh yeah, he gets it.
I definitely feel like this is a satisfying ending to to this phase of Guardians of the Galaxy. They're going to totally make more of these, obviously, but for right now, this is a satisfying ending to the characters that we were given in this particular phase. Because, yeah, and also can't spoil it for Lisa, but it's a happy ending.
Okay. Yay! Happy ending. Were there after credit scenes?
Yes, there are 2 after credit scenes.
2? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then lastly, after watching this, how do you feel about James Gunn taking over the DCU?
Oh, I put that in a thread. Like, I am amped for it. I mean, the hallway scene alone has me ready for him to get to a Justice League movie and have some threat where he has to make that kinetic fight scene with Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Just them 3 would like blow my mind if they make it anywhere close to the hallway scene here. Like, that just would be crazy. So no, I'm amped up for it. The only thing that concerns me is I feel like James Gunn, for what we know of his Marvel stuff, has made his sometimes humor kind of raunchy and cruder. I don't know how that vibes as well with the DC point of view, with the Holy Trinity. I mean, not what Holy. I'm saying with the Trinity of comic books. I can't see Superman being really raunchy. Right. So, but I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. How about yourself?
I'm definitely here for it. I do feel like his kind of like formula will probably get stale in the next couple of movies, because pretty much all of his movies are kind of the same thing. Well, his big blockbuster ones anyway. They have the music, as a huge theme to it. They have the quirky characters. I mean, really, he's only done like this in Suicide Squad, so I can't really say it's like a whole formula. But I'm still excited for it. I feel like he's the only one that hasn't let me down thus far. And James, please don't. Please keep up the good work. Don't let me down.
Right.
But if he keeps doing quality work like this, then he won't let us down. I feel like. Anyway, that's me.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I think DC should hopefully be in good hands here. So let's see.
Unless they do something stupid like where they just are constantly interfering with James Gunn's process and stuff, which they will probably do because Warner Brothers sucks.
That they do.
Like, why does this have to have Superman in it? Can't it have more guns? It's like, this is Superman.
We need Superman to fight a giant spider at the end.
Yeah. And we need to see his feet. Like, what?
We need to see his feet.
I see a scene where he steps on grapes barefoot.
He's making wine with Lois. Yeah. Yuck.
There was a Nickelodeon executive, Dan Schneider, who would audition young girls and make them take off their socks and stuff during the audition.
He has like feet episodes.
Yeah.
On So 101 and iCarly.
Yeah.
Oh, gross. Yuck.
Yeah, he's gross.
Yeah. Still works there.
I hate people.
We all hate people.
Mm-hmm.
But we love our fans, our people who are watching us right now. We love you guys. Also, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Vote for me for everything.
For everything, yeah.
Lisa,
any housekeeping stuff?
We're reading a book, right? Is it next week or the week after?
Next week.
Oh my god,
18th.
I need to buy it. I need to push that.
Is next week the 18th? Oh man, I got so much shit going on next weekend.
Okay, so we're reading a book. hopefully I'll reach out to. I have not reached out to
Strong
author.
female character. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's really all I can think of right now. Keep sharing and watching our videos, please. Numbers are going up, and what does Jason always say? If you share with one friend, and they share with one friend.
No, you got to share it with 2 friends. And
share with 2 friends.
Oh,
yeah.
And then they share it with
there
2
we
friends.
go. Then we're next thing you know, we're a global wide phenomenon, and we like
and I
that.
can look Richard Dreyfuss in his face and be like, "Suck my dick, I have money."
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe this show will get nominated for an Emmy. I don't know. I don't know how it works, but
I don't think they do things for the internet.
You could Will Smith, Richard Dreyfuss when you see him.
Yeah, for real.
Keep black people's names out your mouth.
Yeah. But yeah, nothing. I survived Taylor Swift. That's it.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's true.
I landed it.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw
a little bit
TikToks
of housekeeping. I was at the movie tavern and met some awesome people that do jobs that they can't really disclose, but some of them are working with Marvel. So, but coming out of that, again, coming out of that,
to us.
I mean, just take off the live button and then
I'm like we're live right now. Anyway, but I did come across a cool podcast called Sketch and Review. The guy does a sketch while he reviews the movies. He actually wants to come on the show and do an episode with us. He's a really cool dude, man. So I'm definitely going to get that set up for us. It may not be the 18th because I don't think anything comes out next week, really. What a damn. So it may be the next week after that, which I think is right. Yeah. So I think the weekend after that will be Fast and Furious. Anyway, I think I may be jumping on my weeks. But anyway, yes, Fast X, excuse me. The names of that series. The names, yes.
I know.
Yeah, but he's dope. Check out his channel again, Sketch and Review. Just type it in how it sounds. He does some really cool stuff on there. What's up?
I said that's a very creative concept. We should totally steal that. Do sketches too.
Does any of us know how to sketch?
Oh, he draws.
Yeah.
But it's like sketch comedy. I was like, we practically already do that. But
no. He draws the sketch while he's reviewing it. So
still a pretty cool concept.
I mean, we can stick figure him in and do the same thing. Put an M for Mario.
We're working on merch. Yes, merch.
Yeah, merch.
Aren't we working?
And I'm working on the website again. It's not up yet, but I'm changing the hosting to something else that's cheaper. They try to charge me $400. Nah.
Ew.
For what?
Exactly.
Have a website up?
Taxes.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to deal with Amazon Web Services. Jeff Bezos, you owe me $400. I'm coming for it.
Or you'll get Will Smith. Will Smith, Jeff. But anyway, yeah. That's all I got. Sketch and Review. Good dude. Them on the show so we can have some fun. As far as merch, still working on getting all the stuff because unless we just want to come out with just one item of work, I'm fine with that too. I don't care, but I want to have a variety of things to choose from. But also I got to get it, whatever crazy internet talk that Jason says, like vectorizing or sexualizing the image. So we
that's it. That's the one.
Gotta caress it. Gotta put on some Marvin Gaye. Yeah, let them know that it looks good today. I love it when you put on those jeans, sketch a logo. But yeah, we'll get that up going soon. Actually, I know how to do it because I've worked with Teespring, but I guess when we get together tomorrow, Saturday, we can talk about because I know I use Teespring before. I don't know if it's any other site that you guys prefer that's better or at selling merch, but we can work all that out.
Shopify.
And get it set up pretty quickly. Okay.
Shopify is going to be the cheapest and the best, but yeah.
And I'm going to get drunk on Saturday.
But I was going to do a right before we're supposed to be meeting at 10:30, right? What time are we meeting?
Early, late? Well, we can discuss after the show.
We want people to know where we're at so they can show up. Or
we're going to be at the
Georgia Renaissance Festival.
They open at 10, so we're going to get there at 9:15 because I'm a psychopath. Jason, your family is allowed to get there whenever you want to.
I'm right with y'all.
Jason Baker's not allowed to because he's riding with us.
Oh,
So he's being held hostage.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
When she says Jason, she's talking to Baker because usually he's the one that's
Yes.
listening up. So I was just like, oh,
yes,
yeah.
you're right. You're right.
She's a whole name. She's talking to me, and I'm like, whoa, what I do?
Yeah.
We'll probably be there early too. Then if you guys are gonna be there early, everybody in my house is excited about it.
I like going early because there's not a lot of people, and then you can get like your beer and your food before the line starts. So then you already got
and they got boiled peanuts there too.
What kids stuff do they have there? Because I saw my kids asking me, I'm like, I don't know, just do something.
It's expensive. Festival. Just make sure you just bring like $500 in cash, and it's all gonna be gone.
Oh, I gotta make sure I got the cash.
It's
all cash too. Okay.
Some places take card, but it's just better just to have cash, just in case.
Gotcha. All right. Cash it is.
I think all the food places are cash only. I think.
Gotcha. I don't want a big turkey leg. They got anything else besides turkey leg? They have a chicken leg.
They got plenty of food.
They got sausage legs.
They have sausage. It's
got bacon legs.
Times, so they have ye old turkey leg, ye old chicken leg, ye old hamburger.
Oh, okay.
But
no forks. But they do have Coke with the forks. Got it.
Ye old
like Pepsi and Mountain Dew.
Yeah, medieval times. You not have, but you have Pepsi. Great movie. Yeah. Underrated movie.
Yeah. So
okay,
bring it back.
That's all I got.
Yeah,
I'll bring my backpack.
I gotta bring my backpack anyway.
Yeah.
Put all the good stuff in my backpack.
Yes, because they don't check.
Trunks.
Keep that on the low.
Yeah. I just remembered we're live.
Rolling butts and medium renaissance.
Nobody watches our show. It's fine.
Roll it in front of them and just put it in a backpack. Like, you don't check it.
You can't check it. It's in my backpack. You can't check it.
Can't check it. I don't care what you saw. You can't check it.
Oh my god. Hey, oh my god.
All right.
Hey, any closing words, everybody?
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, and to all the fathers who are mothers, and all the aunties who are mothers, and
grandmothers, and
anybody who had to take care of kids that weren't their own. We love you.
Teachers, they're like mothers. I call my teacher mommy once.
They are. I think every little boy has done that at one point in time because it's just the nursery.
I was in high school.
Wow. Ew! That changes the context completely. Ew.
So thank you all for watching Head Canon Circus. We really appreciate your patronage. Just remember to tip your servers 20%. If you see there in the street, make sure you tell them yes, he deserves it. And I hope he burns in
hell.
Burns in hell. Bye, everybody. I'm hitting the button.